Experience on Radio Phoenix. Coming up next, I'll be talking to Antonio the Yellow Dove right here on Phoenix.
Dola, now on 89.5 FM. Now on 89.5 FM. Radio Phoenix.
I'm not trying to disrespect Jesus. I'm just trying to say welcome to Zambia. Nah, man. I had a dream one day that Jesus Christ came to Zambia as a tourist, and it left my mind in a little bitty twist. Had to pick him up from the airport. The dreams that you carry you should never abort. That's the first thing he said to me. So I introduced myself as the Yellow Dove. I told him I was gonna be his tour guide. He'll be glorified, he'll be gonna ride. But the industry doesn't pay much, so I never had any money for a cup. Told him let's walk, we began to talk. Told him about the colors on the national flag. Had to leave my pants so he doesn't know that I sat. Before I knew it, it was lunchtime. I didn't even know his favorite dish, so I just got him bread and fish. Then we went down to my room at Unza. Started asking me why we always throw stones at cars. Before I could give a reply, I woke up just in the blink of an eye. I was shivering. What if Jesus really came? Kept wondering, would I have the guts to even introduce him to my girl? Say,
what would Jesus do if he came to Zambia? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do if he came to Zambia? What would Jesus do?
I would take him to Maziyoba compound. Shelter for everyone would be found. Then I would take him to Chachacha Road. And at night he would warm those who sleep in the cold. He would also feed the street children. With him by the side there'll be no problem. The streets wouldn't be the residents. Flash buses wouldn't cause accidents. Investors wouldn't keep a distance. He would also increase our life expectancy. If Jesus visited the land of Zambia, he would make it a better place. He would put a smile on the face of a child. He would make sure she never gets defiled. He would help us youths always abstain. Working hard at school we would maintain. And I would ask him to provide misdemeanors. That would make sure he supports the gunners. Would he walk on some basic river? Visit TBN and then pull a diva. Then I would take him to Labour's Hill to resurrect all those who are missing still. I would ask him to resurrect Uncle Mishik. I miss him and I wish he was here.
What would Jesus do if he came to Zambia? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do if he came to Zambia? What would Jesus do?
43 years now, what a beautiful journey. First book, I would make him really show me the money. He would make sure he provides employment. What would he think about Chinese investment? And I would ask him to bless our ladies. Ask him why the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting babies. Ask him to reveal the right person we should vote for in the next election. Bless the DJ for making this selection. But would he shake hands with Neighbors Mumba? Would he dance to gospel rumba? I bet he would wash all of our sin. At the same time he would keep Zambia clean. What would he do? I really wonder. Would he even board the Nali Kwanda? Heal all those with HIV. He would change a lot of things if he heard you say,
what would Jesus do if he came to Zambia?
Wow. How long has it been, this song?
It's this year it turns 12 years.
Wow, that's how long it has been.
Yeah.
This is a good song.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Where did the concept, where did it come from?
It was a dream, man. I had a dream, an actual dream, where Jesus came to Zambia as a tourist, and I woke up, it changed my life. It was that time where, because of school, you get caught up with life, and, you start going in a way that is not respectable of a Christian, and then you have this dream where Jesus comes, and then you're wondering, you know, now I'm living a life of sagging my pants, I'm more on the excess side of things, and my lifestyle is really fast. And then you're looking at Jesus in the dream, you're scared that, you know, he'll find out that you're sagging your pants now, you know, that kind of a thing. So to me, it was like a wake-up call. I woke up thinking, I need to get back to the kind of person that I need to be. So yeah, it shook me, man. And surprisingly, when it came up, people would approach me and say, that song made me really think about what would happen if Jesus really came to Zambia. So
it was your first single, right?
Yeah. I remember I had to sell in a school tack shop at Arakan High School to raise money to do that song. I hustled really hard for it, selling ice blocks and freeze-its, and I raised the 500 kwacha, I remember then, and went to Radio and told him this is what I wanted to do. And I think that's one of the reasons why God took the song far, because he saw my heart, he saw my sacrifice. I was able to do anything just to make sure my dream comes true. So
all right. Yeah. It's on 1940 on Radio Phoenix. I'm talking to Antonio the Yellow Dove. He's got a brand new album out, and also he's got a brand new book. So we'll be talking about that in a bit right here on Phoenix.
This is Radio Phoenix.
When diarrhea strikes, act fast. Children need quick and effective treatment. Use Zambia's award-winning Kitia Moyo. It stops dehydration and gives strength. Available in ShopRite stores countrywide and selected shops. Kitia Moyo delivers World Health Organization's recommended treatment for diarrhea, ORS and zinc. Be wise. Be prepared. Beat diarrhea. Buy Kitia Moyo today. Kitia Moyo.
Vodafone wants to help you unify your business communications in a rewarding, simple and affordable way. Simply get a NetStation 4G router plus 25 GB data valued at 1,100 for an amazing price of 699. Plus, when you top up with 25 GB or more, you will receive 50% free data instantly every month for 3 months. Rush for this amazing offer in store or order it online today, and the Vodafone Tuk-Tuk will deliver it to you within 24 hours. Let Vodafone help you successfully grow a business with the legit rewards that come with reliable and ultra-fast 4G connections. Power to the entrepreneur. Vodafone, power to you.
The beat goes on. Radio Phoenix. All hit radio.
I'm Big Daddy Ken, you do Sugar Ken, Strap against Katrina, I'm the Hurricane.
Radio Phoenix.
Kazamiga propela, nzazi kalenza zoana nikagwila. I'm a soda you until you lose it. If you go down along
The baddest Zambian. Radio Phoenix.
Yellowholic music, straight out the cafe.
akale nalepwisha nefilambo kulalilanga vyako zanga menso ya michanga nalezanto mutima nokulamba panomba nalichinja mliena nalisamba kutigeni myebe pamunanti uwachiba vyonse pa wikalo bwanti muliena nasanga mwesansa peace love and joy chilenga de mtasha J Mbengwe, Findeco kind of things na potolas Alibati bati in a very good way Kabile cheni chakwe bagapungwe So I hope my goma ieve siyo do My chokela kumamba niba jize baitu Mama hala, sufutika na muti Mara tuwai pali fonse ni eve cheni fumna
Halamfunya pa, no fishapa Pali inelesa tanaka He knows how to make my day So when I'm down this is all that I have to say Nifuna Yesu Nifuna chape Yesu Nifuna Yesu Nifuna chape Yesu Nisha Nifuna famulungu ififina nati never. It's that boy Yellow Dove bashifefa. Hati guy wapa easy but mumutima neze chabe belegede. It felt good like a payday. Sin had a grip on me. What can I say? Money, drugs, girls, porn. That's what God saved me from. Guy enzo tunda pa bedi. Sinenze na kuziwa sani ziva pa zedi. With tears in my eyes and I'm rolling with a heartbreak. Any shot. I've seen his grace like Moses in a basket. Any shot. And so I died on my flesh cause he paid for my casket. Any shot. Halang kumyapa, no fish apa. Bali inelesa tanaka. He knows how to make my day, so when I'm down, this is all that I have to say. Nifuna Yesu, nifuna chape Yesu, nifuna Yesu, nifuna chape Yesu.
Amaka, yendi mulu limina bangen kaka. But if you want where the gate space like NASA, so check the galaxy. I'm God's new star. Paid attention to his word, they responded from afar. Na iwe ale kwita mune kutika. Umfweshe wilya kwele kokubutuka. Echalesa umfwe kopyongo fwanga na iteshen adyamfumune.
Halamfunya pa no fishapa. Bali inelesa tanaka. He knows how to make my day, so when I'm down, this is all that I have to say. Nifuna Yesu, nifuna chape Yesu, nifuna Yesu, nifuna chape Yesu. Halam kumya pa no fishapa, bali inelesa tanaka. He knows how to make my day, so when I'm down, this is all that I have to say. Nifuna Yesu.
It's called Nifuna Yesu. He's taking off his brand new album. The album is called Born to Win. His name is Antonio the Yellow Dove, and we are hanging out with him in the studios this evening. Awesome tune, a good follow-up to Madobi Dobi. Yeah, what are you talking about in the song?
Yeah, it's a collab with my kid brother, Young Dove. So one of the things I do is raise youngsters that want to live their life for Christ and use their talent to motivate others. So he's only like 18, 19 years old, and he's really talented. So we did the song together, and it's a feel-good song, man. Like, in the midst of problems, chaotic, challenges that come through as a youth, you're just saying, I want Jesus. Yeah, so it's an inspirational party song, encouraging people that, run to God, and God is all that you need.
All right. Let's talk about your album, Born to Win. How many songs are on the album? And is it your debut album?
No. It's my follow-up album after the What Would Jesus Do If He Came to Zambia project. That song was in the album called Born to Win. So it's a follow-up. This one is Born to Win Part 2. Okay. So the album has got 20 songs.
Wow, 20 songs.
Yeah, man.
Why so many songs?
Yeah, man. I just felt like I've been quiet for a bit because I had to step back and concentrate on TV with Gospel Cruise, Enter In, and the other TV shows that I do. So I wanted, at first when I came into the industry, it's like the music was up there. People knew me for my music. Then when I wanted to get into TV, there wasn't so much to talk about that I had contributed to the TV industry. So I decided to lay off music and make sure that, when people say TV and they mention my name, they mention the word hard work and dedication. So when everything was up to par now, like, I was pretty much satisfied with what I'm contributing to the TV and radio world, I decided, okay, let me get back to the music. And since it took so long, I was like, let's give them 20 songs. And also one thing I love about the Born to Win Part 2 album is it's very inspirational, man. It's not just rap music or R&B touch with the Zambian fuse also, but I feature motivational speakers on it as well that give motivational tips that will change your life, man. So there's the likes of Muvita Sinawa, he's on my album. Yeah, I know it's crazy to have a motivational speaker.
It is crazy.
But we love crazy things. So there's Muvita Sinawa, there's Bishop Eddie Mulenga, Changu Chilwesa, people that are very motivational and will inspire you on the project project as well, doing nice interludes.
What are you talking about in the whole project?
The whole project is very inspirational, man. From the title itself, Born to Win. It challenges youth to first of all confess positive things over their life. Don't be that youth that wakes up in the morning and says, matchino chaka tizaka survive. You know what I mean? It's like what I was talking about earlier, how I used to sell in a school tuck shop to raise money for my single, and that single opened up so many doors for me that my degree at UNZA couldn't. So I'm inspiring youths in the album to say, if it means you cleaning toilets at a mall for you to get to your goal, do it. Because for me, my friends laughed at me. They said, Yellow Dove, I said, because I was still Yellow Dove even at school. I go to some tuck shop, boy, I go to some freeze, you know what I mean? But for me, they didn't know what goal I had, because for me it was like, I need to raise money to do a single. That single will connect me, this and that will come on board. And so the album is very inspirational in that I tell my story, and I encourage youths to say, don't wait for Boma, don't wait for a big fish to come from somewhere. You on your own find means to make your dreams come true, and don't give up. So I narrate the whole story through music and inspire somebody out there.
All right. I know you've mentioned Mubita now, one of the people that you've collaborated with. Apart from the motivational speakers, which other artists have you collaborated with, and the producers on the album?
Mag 44 features on the album, and he produced about 4 songs. Young Dove, of course, my kid bro, is on it. I have Tio on it as well. I have Innocent on it. There are a lot, man. Tio is on it as well. A bunch of people that are dedicated to Christ, celebrating Christ on it also. I decided also to work with people that are not really known but are talented, just to bring out that team spirit. There's a kid I used to work with back then. She was only like 11 years old, but she can spit rhymes. So there's a song we did that also made it to this album. It's called Mwakata Pansi. I believe in raising up a generation that will carry on this mission to use hip-hop music to inspire others. So there are a lot of people that are on it.
All right, so we'll listen to something. What are we going to listen to?
Let's do the new track that just dropped I think a month ago. It features Praichi. He's one of most talented people that I've seen in Zambia when it comes to reggae raga music. And I also feature Regina Mwanza on it. It's called Kulie.
All right. So we are talking to Antonio the Yellow Dove right here on the Evening Experience.
Dola, now on 89.5 FM. Now on 89.5 FM. Radio Phoenix.
Chikukuna chifundo ugwesambula no pasa zuwa bantu boyipana babwino niwe chikundi niwe moyo ndiwe pepote mapema they what you know, and I've fallen in love with you, my soul longs after you. When I call upon you, you answer by fire. Waiting battle, mighty warrior. Chinga wala wala wa shimuko okotanso no niwe
ninaenda huku na huku nikaliona powina monga iwe ninaenda huku na huku nikaliona powina monga Yesu kulie nono monga Yesu kulie nono kulipe alimonga imwe Yesu mulimweka all my pressure yakapaka ningoseka naka step kankunja nimeka pofipa mukapita pabeka there's nobody else
Who can take away my shame and my sin on the shelf? They imitate but they fail to be you. So unique in the things that you do. Mutima wanga wense be or flipper. I couldn't let you in, goalkeeper. And then you wash me clean, mumulopa. All of four nyasa vikabuela siniyopa. It's amazing how you always love me. And when I run, you run towards me. You add value to my copper. It's Yellow Dove, God's favorite rapper.
Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga iwe. Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga Yesu. Kulie nono, monga Yesu. Kulie nono.
Chivuga muntu angachinje chikondi chake chile na malile chikondi cha muntu ungagule sunga muchetekele. But you are so wonderful, your love is true, so mindful of me, you so good, no one can compare to you. Bonse bamushe bichoke la kuliwe. You the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Iwe ukabomeleza kulie anga kande. That's the reason we ball out and say
Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga iwe. Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga Yesu. Kulie nono, monga Yesu. Kulie nono. Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga iwe. Ninaenda huku na huku, nikaliona powina monga Yesu.
It's called Kulie, Antonio the Yellow Dove, right here on the Evening Experience. Beautiful song.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Very beautiful song.
Yeah.
So, is the album out? Where can people buy the album?
The album is out. You can get it from Mwasuwila Bookstore at Levy Mall. The same store is there in Ndola. It's there in Kitwe, Copper Hill Mall, I should think, and a lot of other places. You can get it from Christian Voice. And I know some people might say, I want autographed copies. We are delivering, actually. So what you do is you just go to Facebook and look for Yellow Dove, like my page, and we'll deliver to your doorstep. You don't have to go to a shop.
You're doing so many things, man.
Yeah.
Music. Now you're an author now. You've written a book, and the book is out. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah, man.
I know you came through some weeks ago on the Local Rhythms Countdown. We touched a bit on the book, but today let's talk in detail about the book. The book is titled Born to Win
as well.
All right. So, what inspired you to write this book?
It's testimonies of my life. I reflected upon my life and looked at certain things that happened, and I thought, I needed to dig deeper and tell my story. Because when you're out there on TV and radio, people have they make up perceptions about you. They hear stories about you. But I thought, let me just tell my story, and my story would inspire somebody out there. And I focus on my spiritual life. I focus on my struggles, my education, and how I perceive life in general. And I also talk about, one of the biggest miracles I've witnessed, and that's, me giving my life to Jesus, and also how God healed me from mental illness that I had suffered from for a year and a half, that almost destroyed me, messed up my career in music, and that's the reason why even the album, it's part 2. It's Born to Win part 2, because when I did the first album, it was messed up by the mental illness. Like, it was supposed to, for me, I saw it as the next big thing because of promoters that came in, the monies that they wanted to pump in because of the What Would Jesus Do If He Came to Zambia song. But we only did a few CDs and I got sick. And, when I got sick, everybody just pulled out, from people that were involved in just putting posters, everybody just gone, because they were just saying, we can't work with you, there's something wrong with you, you're probably on drugs or something, but they didn't know that it's mental illness. And so after that long battle of the sickness for a year and a half, I went into a deep depression because I had lost everything. I'd lost friends, my scholarship at UNZA. I was at the verge of losing my own life because I didn't know what I was living for. I had nothing to look forward heart too. And so it was at that point that even medicine failed to heal me. Doctors couldn't, didn't know what next. And I thank God for my parents who really believe in God, that stood it in prayer for me. And it was at that lowest point of my life that God snatched me. When there was no hope, He restored me. He took me back to school. I got my degree. He mysteriously got me back on radio, on TV, and people see me now. They're like, "Hey, Yellow Dove, want to be you," but they don't know what I went through to get to where I am, and it's all by the grace of God. So the book really details my testimony and what I went through, and it's all to say that you might not be facing mental illness, but what I'm saying is man failed to help me. Okay, man told me there's no hope. Kwasi, that this is the end. People would when I'm walking in the street would even say, it's an afuntam, guys, you know what I mean? That discrimination, people pulled out. Some churches even afterwards would say, we don't want to work with you because we've heard you're on drugs. So there were a lot of misconceptions and a lot of things that I went through, but God healed me. He restored me to my former glory. And my encouragement to somebody out there is that God has got a plan for you. No matter what you go through, God will always find a way to bring you back into His purpose. Man could have failed you. You might be sick, you might be going through problems in your family that look insurmountable, that look big, but my testimony should encourage you that the same God that restored me when man could not is the same God that will heal you today, is the same God that is going to help you out. Because for me, man, CK, there was totally no help, man. There was totally nowhere to run to. Some people are even saying, mumpeleke chekunganga, you know what I mean? But my parents stood on the word of God, and when you walk in the streets, you see a mad person, that could have been me. I see that and I'm thinking that could have been me. And so the book details that. I tell my story and I want to inspire somebody.
When you were going through that situation, or when you are in that phase, what was going through your mind?
A lot. First of all, I thank God that I'm even able to remember. After I got healed, that's when I was able to remember everything. But when everything was happening, it was just normal to me. First of all, I would wake up. When the whole episode happened, I was at Findeko House. I collapsed. And when I woke up, my mind was upside down. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who the president was. I didn't know which year it was. I had no memory of who I am and where I was. So the whole 1 week of the first encounter of the whole thing, I was blank. Like, I have no recollection of what happened. The only thing I remember is I collapsed, and when I woke up, I was not myself. And I kept cursing, I kept insulting. I was just not me, in short. And the thing is, people who knew me to be this cool, humble guy were the ones I would get encounter with. Like, I would meet them, I would speak in a way that they would look at me and say, this is not the Antonio we know. So now imagine you are going for a meeting with a client that wanted to put in maybe 50,000 in the project, that because I had a lot of projects running, wanted to put in 50, and then you're seated now in a meeting and you just stand up, start jumping, and you start running around in the office, and then this client is looking at you as a potential sponsor and thinking, I can't work with this boy, he's on drugs. Meanwhile, you are just sick. It's got nothing to do with drugs, it's got nothing to do with anything. You've just become sick. And a lot of people pulled out, man. Like, it was so, that year in 2010 was very discouraging for me. Like, there was a lot that was going to happen and people pulled out. I would wake up in the morning and think I am the president of Zambia, and start talking to people like I could actually change their lives. I remember one time I was admitted by Unza Clinic, and I would sit down the wakers in a short meeting and start asking them what they want me to change for them at that clinic. And I was so serious about it, I would even speak in the accent of FTJ and would even take down notes. For me, I'm like, this is me, this is normal. So I would take different characters every pretty much day. And then also I was immune to pain. For instance, I would be in a bus. I would argue with a bus conductor, and would think I can jump out of a speeding bus. I almost attempted that along Great East Road. Like, I wanted to jump out. I would think it's okay, I'll survive, you know. So it was very dangerous to me because I could have lost my life during that period. But God kept me alive, man. Like, He preserved me. And it takes God to bring back your mind, you know, because when your mind flips, like, how can you flip it back? Like, maybe the part that is affected is really deep inside, but it took God. A lot was going through my mind. I remember, because that's the time I was doing that promotion. I remember one time I had an interview at a radio station, and the stuff I said, man, I still have that interview. I kept it. The stuff I said, I would never say those things. I remember telling the world that I slept with certain women in the industry, famous people. I mentioned actual names. I remember cursing out some groups in the gospel fraternity. And of course, for the person who was interviewing me, it was good publicity because, you know, you have all that craziness recorded. But I said a lot, and guess what? People that were supposed to pump in money were listening. And they started pulling out. And it was bad, man. It was really bad. I remember going to ZNBC also, and I sat in Smooth Ike's chair, wanting to interview him. And everyone is just, what's wrong with this boy? I was not even on the schedule, man. So the story is funny in a way, but you know, it's really bad because of what it did to my image and what I lost out. I went at Evelyn Horn College. There's a girl that I liked prior to my illness. I started shouting her name by the hostel, or the girl started peeping by the windows. What's going on? And at that time, you know, recognized that the What Would Jesus Do video was really big, and it was nominated for some awards. So like, a lot of people knew who I was and my face, and then they were just like, but isn't he this guy Christian? Why is he acting like this? You know, so even to the image of Christianity and what God means to people, it became disturbing. You know, I started calling out her name and asking her to come out. And when she was not showing up, I started taking off my clothes, started stripping. And then people now would, Yellow Dove, what's happening? Hey, you know what? They're laughing, they're making circles. They're like, what's wrong taking pictures? In my mind, what I'm doing is okay. But, you know, the devil was out to mess up my life, mess up everything. Because I was just starting, you know. And I remember then I was working at Unza Radio. They came to pick me up, took me home. The thing is, when I was at home, sometimes I would be okay. When I get out there, I would have episodes, you know. I remember one time seeing my mom after I was taken home after a crazy episode. She started crying and just saying, God, what have we done to deserve this, you know? So it was really bad because I'm like the only child, you know. So it was really a bad period for my family as well. Being the only one that went to the university and now seemingly mentally ill, losing out instead of being in school. So it's like an Unza dropout, so to say. And, you know, it was a test period. So the whole thing lasted for like a year and a half. So you can imagine how many crazy things I went through during that period. And there was no hope, man. There was a time like, even for me, when I would be okay, I just said, Kwasila, you know, like, maybe this is it for me. I'll never get to the place, the things that I dreamt about. I'll never achieve my dreams. But God in His mercies, man, I begged Him, like.
So after this whole year, what happened next?
What happened next is everything failed. Medicine failed. Counseling failed. I went through everything, man. You can name it. The doctor said it was cerebral malaria that went to bipolar disorder that graduated to mental illness. So I was on a lot of drugs that were making me even dizzy, and I would sleep for weeks on end sometimes, you know, just to get my nerves down. I would talk continuously when I'm awake. Like, I am just continuously talking, and I would continuously write. I still have the books I would scribble in, like stuff that doesn't make sense. I would make equations like disease plus U is equals to, you know, it was just, my mind was all over, had too many ideas that were conflicting each other. It was a total mess. And at that point where everything failed, my parents stood on prayer, and miraculously I woke up one day and I started asking my mom who I was. I started learning myself again. Started asking her who I was. I started reasoning, I started having bits of remembrance of what I went through, because it was very scary at some point, because there were instances where I would remember that presidency thing where I would think I'm actually the president. Sometimes I would get off home, I was in Chilenge then at my parents' place, and start going towards the actual state house, wanting to go in and tell them that I'm the real president. So imagine how dangerous that is, because the moment you pass those guys at the gates, they might shoot you. Like there's no telling, they'll just shoot you. And I remember one time I was walking past, almost crossing is it Independence Avenue, almost approaching those guys, and in my mind what I'm doing is okay. Then a phone call just comes, and it's my mom, and she's saying, hey, it's late, come home. Then I turn back. Then when I got well, I was like, oh my God, all these things were really bad. I was at Findeco House one time at KB's studio, and I was thinking, if I jump off the Findeco House, nothing would happen to me. While I'm thinking of all that, a group of artists comes and disturbs my thoughts. I remember there was Crisis, there was a couple of other people, and they disturbed my thoughts, and they were like, talking to me like that. And there were all these instances when I was getting well, I was just like, oh my God, there were so many times I could have lost my life. God he didn't owe me anything, but he just kept me. Maybe for a time like this, so that I can encourage somebody out there that God is in charge, even when you have no idea what's happening, because I had no mind of my own, but God was able to, while I'm thinking of jumping off Findeco House, he brings in people to disturb my thought, and I stop thinking about that. While I'm in a bus trying to jump out of the bus and I could have died, God just stopped the bus and they told me, get out. So a lot happened, and at that point I woke up miraculously, and I started recollecting. My mind started healing, started asking who I was, where I was, and my parents were humble enough to help me through. And I started reasoning, and within a space of 2 days, God just restored my mind. Everything started flashing back, from stripping at Evelyn Horn, from insulting people on TV, from my promoters going away, like all the text messages I would receive, people saying they don't want to work with me anymore, people that were selling my albums, come and get your seat. It was really a backfire moment kind of thing. So God just restored each and everything, and then I was just like, God, is this what I went through? And then I started asking, how long has it been? Because they're just thinking it's 2 days. And then they're just like, you've been like this for a year plus. And then you're just like, what about school? You were deregistered from school. You might even lose your scholarship, because some people think you were on drugs. You did crazy stuff I remember, those group studies where you're presenting something and you get marks. I was chosen to do that. At the time I was sick. Some people didn't know I was sick, so you're in class, and then you present in such a way that even the lecturer thinks, there's something wrong. And you get your group 0, So there are all these things that even my classmates remind me of. And then you're just like, a year has passed. What have I been doing this whole year? Did
you think of maybe the damage?
It was bad, man. I remember the first person I called was K-Smash, because I remember I blasted at him once. I blasted at Panjit Shpeta also. I blasted at a lot of people. It was like the devil just planned it to mess me up with the people that I was connected with that were supposed to take me to another level. I blasted at my lecturers. It was really bad. Started calling them one by one, man, like, look, this is what happened, I'm sorry. Ask Roberto, he will tell you an incident I had with him. I resorted to almost beating him up once we met. And the good thing is I was doing a radio show with Asians who was connected to him, and explained to him. So there were a lot of really bad incidences. But
when you are calling these people, didn't they think maybe it's one of his episodes?
Yes. Some people actually thought, this boy is crazy, like he's totally crazy. But for me, I felt this is the right thing to do. Let me apologize. And so I did that. But the backlash was that you are now well and you want to get back to your music, and then you find that you want to go to a certain church, and then you receive a message that they told me to remove you out of the list of the performing artists because they think you're crazy. They don't know what you're going to say when you get the microphone. So it was really bad, where you want to get active but you can't because there's all this stigma, and some people don't really know that you are sick. So it's like you're innocent, but you're being punished for what you went through. So I went through a great depression, man. Like, I started asking God, so why did you allow this if you know it's going to block my future? So why did you even heal me if it's going to, like, I'm not going anywhere after this? Like, everything is shattered. Everything that is important to me has been dropped down because of what I went through. So the depression was real, man. Like, I would wake up and not look forward to anything. I would wake up with no hope, with no smile. Even when I would smile, I would count the number of times I would smile, like in 6 months. And even when I did that, it was fake. Like, you're just doing it because you need to do it, but inside you feel rotten. You just feel like there's nothing to wake up to.
Who was there to support you? Who was there to
family,
encourage you?
man. Family was there. My dad is a pastor, so they really stood on word and prayer. I had a few close friends that would always visit and keep me company and keep me sane, because every time I was alone, it was thoughts of thinking, where am I going in life? My friends are learning, they're about to graduate. I dropped out of school. All those things. I was about to do one of the greatest albums, and I had a lot of people promoting me after the What Would Jesus Do If He Came to Zambia, the Puda. You're just thinking of all that, and you've lost out on a year. Like, a whole year is just passed by without you noticing what's happening. So friends, people from church stood by me, and I thank God that there were such people from Christian Voice also, because I had an episode there, like a lot of episodes. So in their meetings in the morning, they'd say, let's pray for Yellow Dove, he needs our prayers. So I thank God for them, man.
Did you eventually go back to school?
Yeah. So after I got healed, I stayed for another year of depression. Now that's where the pain was, now of where you're thinking, I told myself I'll never rap again, because there was nowhere to go. All the promoters I knew in my circles didn't want anything to do with me. All the people that I thought would take me to a next level. And that's the thing that God taught me in that whole period. Like, I trusted people so much. I thought it's this one that is supposed to take me to this one and this one. But all along it was God. It had nothing to do with people. And so those people are disappointed in me, but God still had a plan for me. And after a year, God restored everything, gave me back, because my relatives couldn't afford to get me back to school. So God put back on the table a full scholarship to get back to Unza. A better deal than what I had before that time. So I went back to school without paying anything. God just started opening up doors. You'd go to offices that said, we can't, you did not notify us when you were sick. And then you're just like, but I was sick, how do I notify you? But in your mind, you're just quiet. You're just thinking, okay, this is the end. How do I get back to school? And you go back the following day, they just said, we received phone calls, and they said we can put you back on the list. And then you're just like, which phone calls are we? Also don't know, but we're just told you should come back. Things just start happening. God starts instructing people to do this, to do that. I went back to the university in third term. I did a year plus 6 months, I think, and I completed with better grades than I would have completed with had I finished that time. Like, I graduated with close to a distinction. If I'd graduated that time, it could have been a credit. So God just upped everything. I graduated a week after. God opened up a door for me to work at ZNBC. So with no connections whatsoever, he just opened up doors. And for me now, I look at my life as God has a way of paying back, man. Like, we don't have to go to people and say, connect me, do this for me. Or when you lose something, you lose a connection, you're just thinking, okay, this is the end. God always has a way of putting things together, because I look at my life now and I see the hand of God, and I see that God is the one who keeps our lives. Even when we're not paying attention, he keeps our lives. Because just 2 weeks of working there, Smooth IK approached me and said, I want to do Smooth Talk with you. It's a gospel version, so you co-present. Flashes started coming back, because when I was sick, I sat on that very chair to embarrass myself. But God now did it in such a way that I sat on it in glory, with all those people that I insulted watching me and saying, wow, God really works and he really does wonders. If God can do it for Yellow Dove, he can do it for you who's listening right now. Yeah.
Wow, powerful story. The book, when did you start writing it?
So after I went through all that now, there was that thing now, should I go back to music? There was that fight, that struggle. So it really took me long. And I came across a verse that says in Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19, it says, forget the former things. Do not dwell in the past. Behold, I am doing a new thing. And if you listen to my Dobi Dobi, those are the words that are there. So that was now my comeback. You know, I sat down and started writing that song, saying, in the midst of my pain, God, you're able to make me happy. You're able to make me feel my Dobi Dobi. So after I wrote my Dobi Dobi, that's the time I started sitting down and writing the the book and telling my story. Because at first I thought, let me not tell it. But I thought, for people that might be in a situation that is so hopeless, their family, or maybe it's you're a family and you have someone that is so sick or things are so bad and you think they can't ever turn. I want to use an example of my family that stood for a year plus for a situation that was hopeless, but they stood in the gap for me, and now I'm a survivor because of their prayers. Like, never give up on someone, never give up on yourself.
All right, let's listen to Madobi Dobi. We are still talking to Antonio, the Yellow Dove, right here on the Evening Experience.
Ninebo Yellow Dove, Chimwana Chava Yahweh. Somebody try to piss me off, attend the other chick. I live to forgive, never lose my temper quick. When the enemy comes in like a flood, I never start panicking, I'm covered by the blood. Tried for my faith, but I'll never be shaken. This joy that I have, boy, can never be taken. I forget the former things I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come to say. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. Satana ni musonda, inanzelu sansanya. My plans yake yonse, tisa pwanya. Kaili sale wa mkonyo na mutu kulu. Muzina ya Yesu, mpambu ni fulu. Romans 5:3, ngie choka chepa kama. Mwana Psalm 34, that's why ni masamu. Umoyo suli fair, sini dandaula. Spreading that depression, nini ni ansula. The moment when things get crazy and wild, that's the time I lift my hands and I shout real loud. Lord Jesus, I will praise you despite my storm. You've given me the strength, that's why I never fear. And in my persecution, Lord, you help me persevere. Isaiah 43, through the fire you were there. I thank you, Lord, you never give me more than I can bear. I worship you, Jesus, I know you really care. I forget the former things I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come to say. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. I use my words to decree what I'll be, unlike using words to describe what I see. I use my words to decree what I'll be, unlike using words to describe what I see. I tell my storm how big my God is, unlike telling God how big my storm is. I tell my storm how big my God is, unlike telling God how big my storm is. I forget the former things I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come to say. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. I forget the former things I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come to say. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. Kumbuyo nalikana away. Ninebo yellow dove, Chimwana Chava Yahweh. Somebody try to piss me off, attend the other chick. I live to forgive, never lose my temper quick. When the enemy comes in like a flood, I never start panicking, I'm covered by the blood. Tried for my faith, but I'll never be shaken. This joy that I have, boy, can never be taken. I forget the former things I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come to say. I count it all joy, Nivela Temushe. My dough, my dough, my dough be dopey. My dough, my dough, my dough be dopey. My dough, my dough, my dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. Satana ni musonda, inanselo sansanya. My plans yake yonse, desire pwanya. Kaili sale wa mkonyo na mutu kulu. Muzina ya Yesu, mpamvu ni fulu. Romans 5:3, ndiye choka chepa kamwana. Psalm 34, that's why ni masama. Umoyo suli fair, sini gandaula. Spreading that depression, nini ni ansula. The moment when things get crazy and wild, that's the time I lift my hands and I shout real loud. Lord Jesus, I will praise you despite my storm. You've given me the strength, that's why I never fear. I need my persecution, Lord, you help me persevere. Isaiah 43, through the fire you were there. I thank you, Lord, you never give me more than I can bear. I worship you, Jesus, I know you really care. I forget the former things I never dwell in.
So this song came after those episodes?
Yes, because I now had phobia to rap. I now had phobia to go in church and stand in front because I was embarrassed, man. Like, there were a lot of episodes in that year and a half. And then God started speaking to me slowly and, forget the former things and never dwell in the past. That line kept coming. Like, just forget that stuff. I mean, how can God just heal you for nothing and then leave you? Obviously, He's got a plan. He wants to do something with your life, your testimony, and who you are. So God kept encouraging me. I started listening to a lot of. I separated myself. Like, I would wake up in the morning, start listening to motivational stuff, start listening to sermons. Like, I listened and watched Christian sermons like the whole day, and through that God started healing the depression, started healing me, and what I had lost, what I wanted to do, I started doing again, and this is the song that came first, that Madobi Dobi simply means feeling good. In the midst of the pain, in the midst of the confusion, and you don't know what to do next, God can still make you feel good. He can still make you count it all joy despite all that. So I started learning how to forget the past, and what was really instrumental to that, and I must stress to people who are listening, is the forgiving part now. Because I had to meet the same people at church, I had to meet the same people in my hood, I had to meet the same artists that threw me under the bus, and some, of course, that supported me. But I had to meet those people that blocked me, that blocked me and did not want to understand what I was going through. And that heart of forgiving, to say, you know what, I forget the former things. I don't want to dwell in the past pains. I forgive everyone that blocked me, even if I had apologized and everything. I forgive them. I let go. I had to forgive myself also for those mistakes that I made and say, you know what, let me start anew. I am born to win after all. So that was a healing point for me. The letting go and just saying, you know what, God, this is in your hands. In Isaiah 61 verse 7, it says that for every shame, God will pay you double. So I had to renew my mind to accustom it to that, to say that was not for nothing. God will use that story to inspire somebody. So that's where the whole thing stemmed from.
Yeah. And speaking about inspiring somebody just called and they say they relate to your story. They went through exactly what you went through, so they know exactly what you're talking about.
Appreciate
it.
What
do you have to tell them? They're listening right now.
It's God. It's God. I wake up every morning and I thank God for life, man. I'm more appreciative about life more than ever. Like, I might not have everything that I desire, but I have my mind. I can think. I can do stuff. I have breath. So I appreciate life more because I lost it for a year and a half in a sense. So my encouragement is let's be more grateful about stuff that really matters, because sometimes we depress ourselves and we miss moments. We miss the important moments in life that we're supposed to take note and thank God for. And we want to worry so much about rentals, about the fact that I'm not driving, I'm not doing this. But at times, just take time to thank God for the simple things. Some people have problems even with just breathing. Like, it's a big issue to breathe. Like, let's appreciate God for that. For me, after that, I told myself, whatever I've been afraid to do, I thought I wouldn't do, I'm going to do it. It was like a second chance at life. And that's the reason why I even wrote the book, because I've always wanted to write a book ever since I was 12 years old when I gave my life to Christ. But I was always afraid of failing, afraid of this. I need money. But after God completely healed me from all this, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything within me, with or without money. God is going to sustain me. So that's the reason why I did a follow-up album, The Born to Win, to get out of the depression and inspire others to say, look, you are born to win. No matter where you come from, what you've been through, what you're lacking, God still has a purpose for you. And I did the book, and then we're going on to also do a movie out of this whole thing. And for me, I'm not afraid anymore, man. Like, I just want to go out there, inspire people, and make the world a better place.
How long did it take you to write the book?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, because that's the time I was busy doing Gospel Cruise. It was picking up, and we're getting a lot of reviews and other TV shows. And then I said, you know what, let me just do this book. The Bible says that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. So there's power in testifying. I pray that the church goes back to that place back then when they would say anyone with a testimony. They don't do that anymore in churches, because there's power in testimony. And I pray that we'll go back to that, where even a small thing happens, you're like, boy, imagine what God did to me, and not just brush it away. And so this is my way of just encouraging people to go back to testifying.
Did you tell it all? Did you reveal everything?
Yes, the naked truth. Everything is in the book. Everything. Yeah, everything, man. I did it. The book is a 1 hour and a half read. I summarized a lot of things, but you will get the picture. It's very descriptive. It reads like a story. It reads like a diary. So I tell it all, man, from the time I was, and it's amazing how when God healed me, like, my memory even became sharper. Like, I remembered more stuff from my childhood than I ever did. So from as early as 6 years, everything is there in the book. Yeah.
All right. And who else helped you? Who did you work with?
On the book, I worked with a lot of gifted people. People that helped me edit. I also worked with Mr. Maswila himself, just to help me champion the book out. I must also stress that, the book and the Born to Win book and the Born to Win album, it's not just being sold for being sold and we get the money and we forget about it. No, it's got a campaign attached to it. The campaign is called Take Me to School campaign. So we've partnered with a lot of organizations such as Jedediah Learning Steps. What we're doing is 20% of all the proceeds from these projects go to taking someone to school. They have a lot of kids in communities that can't afford to get to school, and we're taking much of the monies to that. So every time you get yourself the book, every time you get yourself the album, you are literally taking somebody to school. You are literally paying for somebody. And for me, I'm doing all these projects because I'm where I am because some people never gave up on me. And there are a lot of kids out there that can't go to school. A lot of kids can't afford school, but they want to. They have nothing else to do but get learning, get that environment where people are learning, mingle with friends. And that's what the projects are doing, to take people to school. People have been helping me out, and we're trying to use the project to help others out also.
Okay, and where can they find the book? How can they buy the book?
So the book is only 100 kwacha. The album, the musical CD, is only 50 kwacha. You can get it at Mwasuwila Bookstore. If you're in Lusaka, you can find it at Levy Park Mall. It's right next to Debonair's. So instead of getting a pizza, take somebody to school. Yeah, and if you're in the Copper Belt, Mwasuwila Bookstore is at Copper Hill Mall. It's there in Ndola. It's there in Kitwe. There are a lot of branches even in Livingston. So the book is all over. Even at Radio Christian Voice is being sold there. We're also doing deliveries. What you just do is look for Yellow Dove on Facebook, like my page, and tell us you're interested in buying, and we'll make a plan to deliver to you. So the book will inspire you. Everything I've talked about is there in the book, only that it's more detailed. My whole testimony about the mental illness episode, how God helped me, the scriptures I used to get out of depression. If you're listening, you're battling with stuff, with addiction, depression, whatever it is you're going through. For me, there are certain scriptures that help me, and trust me, I strongly believe if you meditate on the same scriptures also, God will help you as well. God is no respecter of persons, man. He can't help me and not help you. Then why did he preserve me? I'm here today to encourage you that there's a way. Whether it's HIV and AIDS, whether it's depression, God can restore you. He can give you hope. You can smile again. You can wake up and have hope in the midst of that same confusion. You know, sometimes God doesn't even take away the confusion, but he gives you peace in the same confusion. You'll be able to live your life. You'll be able to be successful in whatever you do, and my story will inspire you. So get yourself the book, Born to Win by the Yellow Dove.
Is there a number they can call?
Yeah, if you want for those orders, you can get in touch via WhatsApp or text or even call. If you want me to come speak also at your youth groups, I'm doing a lot of mentorship programs just to inspire people, like for the whole year. That's what I'm dedicated to, just inspiring people out there. You can get in touch on 0977 365664. That's 0977 365664. That's WhatsApp, your text messages, calls, and on Facebook just look for Yellow Dove.
All right, so we have a minute before I let Yellow Dove go. You can call if you want to call right now on 226841, and maybe you want to encourage him or say something. 226841 is the number to call. That's at 226841 right here on the Evening Experience. What song are we going to end with?
Mwali Loesha, man. God he's so sweet, and it's a praise song that I did with Innocent, and it's an encouragement, man. Like after you go through that, you want to appreciate it.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good evening.
All right.
During the program. Good evening, Yellow Dove.
Good evening.
Wow, interesting. This is Joseph Kalenda calling you from the University of Zambia.
Okay.
I really don't know. I was just changing stations, and I just found myself on Radio Phoenix, and at the very point, I'm sure, I may have missed something, but I think I got the thing that really encouraged me. Little did I know that you really went through that. You went through those episodes, all those problems. I usually listen to your shows on Wednesday with Manchilo and just the music. That's what I know. That's what I knew about Yellow Dove. I did not know that you even went through those thick and thin and those problems, and God had to restore you back to your position even more. Just like we saw we read in the book in the book of Job. It's amazing how God does things.
True.
And believe you me, I am encouraged, and I am just one of the many people who are encouraged from your testimony. And indeed, there is power in testimony.
True.
And we thank God for the Phoenix actually hosting you and ensuring that that testimony goes and reaches many. And even thanking you for actually taking it personal to ensure that you don't just keep what God did for you. You have also shared it with many other people, including myself. I've really benefited and I've really enjoyed. And actually, I'm looking forward to a time when I obviously meet you. I've taken note of the number, and I will call you one of these fine days. May the good Lord continue blessing you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Continue the good job.
Thank you so much.
All right. as I let you go, your closing remarks to somebody who's listening right now.
My closing remarks, we really want to take people to school. I'm looking forward to a day when, we are old and gray. Then somebody comes to you and tells you that guy who's the president went to school because of your project. We might be living in homes. We were able to watch the news.
All right, we have somebody on the line. Good evening.
Hello. Evening. Thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And how are you, sir?
Antonio, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is Ndidiao. I'm calling you from Chibombo.
Okay.
Knowing that Kavango is in Chibombo district. Yeah. Your testimony is very encouraging.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the issue is, personally, I've been, I think, on one or two occasions, I've heard of the yellow dove and stuff like that. Now, there is a difference between enthusiasm, zeal, and somebody who's really been there. And I think what sets you apart is the fact that you've really been there. Believe you me, I was listening to your testimony, and up to now I'm just parked outside my house. I've even thought to come out of the car because I wanted to listen and listen and listen, because I've heard so much about the yellow dove, and I've seen you present the handsome Lord dude and stuff like that. So I really wanted to get to the depth of it. What is it that sets this guy from every other enthusiastic youth, And I think you have it. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I want to believe God allowed you to go through all that which you went through for a reason. I'm one person who will be looking forward to see you climb greater heights, because
Amen.
I think you are meant for heights.
Amen.
Okay, so like the earlier caller indicated, I've saved your number. I would want to explore possibilities in which you can speak to our youths at church.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We would like to really explore the possibilities. We get the T's and the C's. But otherwise, I thank God for you, and please don't hold back your story. Keep telling it. You've got all the platforms. You are really leveraging technology. You are on Facebook, you are singing, you are writing. God knows what next. But that is just the channel in which maybe you are communicating. Otherwise, thumbs up once more.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. As we close, finally, we close.
Yeah, so God has given me this testimony, and obviously, like the person said earlier, I have been gifted with all these giftings. I'm on radio, I'm on TV, I've written a book, I've got a musical album. So I'm using all these talents not just to inspire someone. I really want to add action to it. Okay, I just don't want to tell a kid out there to say you're born to win. I want to show them that the first step to being born to win is getting an education. You need to go to school. And for me, I read a lot, I research a lot. Even before I write a song or before I go on TV, it might look like we're having fun and whatnot, but there's a lot of research that goes into it, and it's because of the background I have of getting myself a degree and some studies that I did in Cairo University also. So I want to give that opportunity also to others with my projects. So I'm encouraging you out there, if you want to partner with me taking kids to school, let's do that. That's what God wants for us, to change people's lives like that. And also, most importantly, get yourself the Born to Win book, get yourself the Born to Win a CD. You will not only inspire me to continue telling my story, but you will take somebody to school, literally, because most of the proceeds will go to these kids that can't afford to go to school. So that's like the most important thing for me. I want to be able to receive pictures of kids going to school and they say it's because of a Zambian out there that bought the product. So that's in my last remarks, that's that. Let's make a difference. Let's just not talk. Let's go out there and make a difference.
Yellow Dove, listen, thank you so much for coming through and for sharing your story. And I would also encourage you people out there, you who's listening right now, go right ahead, support him by buying the book. You're not only supporting him, but you're also taking a kid to school. All right, so this is all we had for you with the Yellow Dove. It's 2042 right here on Radio Phoenix on the Evening Experience. And we're going to end with Mwalilo Wesha featuring Innocent from the Yellow Dove.
It's the Yellow Holic music.
More than honey, you're just like my dad, my mommy. Always there by my side when I'm facing a whole lot of troubles in my heart will be racing. It's me you are placing, though I'll be macing your love and your grace every day I'm confessing. Can't get enough, so it's you that I'm chasing. I'm sure of what I feel, Lord Jesus. No, I'm not guessing. The times people laugh, they say I got a big nose. My rap is so wild and I always make noise. You hold me close and you tell me I'm your favorite rapper. I'm thinking to myself, you're awesome. You breathe on me and you call me handsome. I don't understand why you love me like this. Lord Jesus, you're so sweet. You're so sweet.
One thing I want,
feeling that we always express. When we meet a special person we can never replace. That special person for me is only you. For real, I cross my heart, but I never hope to die, cause I always wanna be with you. You are so real, your love is so surreal. You do fulfill the things that you do reveal. Your eyes are filled with nothing but the greatest love. I feel so great every time I talk to you. There's no one else who can do the things you do, the things you say, every little thing you give. I do receive, believing that you don't deceive. It really shows that you always watch me close. And though because your love never fails, Jesus, you're so sweet.